Hello, my name is Ashley Davis Bush, and I'm the author of Transcending Loss, which was published in 1997 under the name of Ashley Davis Prend. And I wanted to talk with you today about transcendence, the concept of transcendence that I write about in the book, and in particular what I call the SOAR solution. Well, now transcendence is an idea of lifting above, sort of when you rise above a situation, and when you rise above, you get a new perspective. If you think about going on top of a building, you get a different perspective on the world that you didn't have when you were down below. And that's really what transcendence is. It's an internal mental attitude of rising above a situation and observing it in the context of a larger experience. In other words, seeing your loss as a piece of the puzzle of your entire life. One piece, an important piece, and perhaps a pivotal piece, but still a piece in the overall context of your life. And that's really what transcendence is. And I think that people who end up transcending loss choose to do so. They choose to rise above and see with a new perspective, with fresh eyes, and they choose to make the loss meaningful. So in the 50 interviews that I did with grievers, I started seeing certain patterns in the ways that they chose to transcend. And I broke them down into the SOAR solution, which stands for spirituality, outreach, attitude, and reinvestment. And I give stories about specific ways that people actually did that. So I'll just say briefly, spirituality. This refers to the different ways that people's faith became stronger, became deeper, became more enriched and wrapped up into who they were. That may not have come without some serious discomfort and questioning and doubt. C.S. Lewis is a wonderful example of that, who wrote the book A Grief Observed, and he talked about how his faith essentially collapsed like a house of cards. And he was a Christian theologian. He wrote The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, among other things. When someone asked him, why do bad things happen to good people? He said, in order to wake us up. And eventually his faith did reawaken in a new and stronger way. O stands for outreach, which refers to the kind of compassion that can be born out of loss and the drive to reach out to others in ways that you never had before. It may mean becoming a hospice volunteer, a cancer volunteer, working for causes, reaching out to others who suffer. It could be as simple as showing up on the doorstep of another griever with a casserole, because you're not going to ask them, call me if you need anything. You're just going to show up with something, because you know. A stands for attitude, how your entire attitude towards life and death itself are changed irrevocably and perhaps for the better because of your loss. It's an intentional kind of awakening. And last but not least, reinvestment. And that has to do with channeling energy back into life. And it could be something as big as a scholarship fund, a fundraiser in some way in the memory of your loved one, or it could be as simple as planting a garden, a memory garden, in honoring your loved one. So these are some of the ways that people choose to transcend, choose to make meaning out of loss, and they're all so important and so vital for your own healing and your own moving on. I invite you to read the stories of people who have chosen to transcend. I invite you to look at my website for resources and ideas about how to grow, how to grieve, and how to grow. Check it out at www.ashleydavisbush.com, and I wish you much peace on the journey.